What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Greenville Living Experience. If you're someone who's looking to move to the Greenville, South Carolina area or the Upstate in general, then you probably have a ton of questions like, where do I start? What do I need to know? And what's the process like here in South Carolina? And that's what today's video is all about. So regardless of if you're a first-time home buyer or you're a client that is relocating to the South Carolina area and you've never dealt with real estate in South Carolina before, then I'm going to take you through the step-by-step process from A to Z of the full home buying process and what you can expect once you're here in South Carolina. Okay, so step number one is deciding on if you're actually ready to buy or not, which might sound like it's intuitive and you're like, duh, I already know that I want to buy. But knowing that you want to buy and can you buy are two different things. And especially if you're a first-time home buyer or you're someone that's relocating to the area, it might be beneficial to rent for 1 to 3 years until you get comfortable in the area and you know which little townships you like over others. But if you're already at that point and you've decided, yes, I'm ready to buy a home, what's my first step? Your first step is figuring out what your purchasing power is. And the easiest and best way to do that is get your pre-approval from a mortgage lender. This pre-approval that you're going to get from the lender is more than just your purchasing power. It's what's going to pair along with your offer to the sellers and show them that you are serious buyers and you are actually willing and ready and able to buy their home. Now, this step could potentially be irrelevant for you if you are paying with cash. If you are someone that's paying with cash, you're obviously not going to get a pre-approval letter. If you are paying in cash, what you're going to need is proof of funds from your bank. So something like a bank statement with all of your personal and account information blocked out other than your name and maybe the balance, showing that you are a ready, willing, and able buyer to the seller, that you have the cash on hand to go ahead and purchase their home. Step 3 is to find a real estate agent to work with. Having a trusted real estate agent beside you through this process is imperative. We know the markets, we know the areas, we know how to structure your offers to make them more competitive and how to best advise you to get into the home that you want. We're going to do everything from showing you properties, making sure you're aware of what listings are hitting the market that match your criteria, helping you negotiate the offer, scheduling inspections, walking you through this process, communicating with the attorney, communicating with the other agent and the sellers, getting you to the closing table. And that's why it's so important to have a trusted realtor that you are confident and comfortable with, that they're going to get you to the closing table. Now, here's a quick tip for you. We had something called the National Association of Realtors lawsuit that happened last year that went into effect in August. Now, whenever we show buyers homes, we are now required to have agency agreements in writing in order to show a property. So when you meet with a realtor, regardless of if it's me or not, but it should be me, you are going to be asked to sign some form of agreement. It may just be a property showing agreement. It may be an exclusive buyer agency agreement. They should go over all of those different types of agency and forms with you so that you can decide what's the best for your working relationship with that realtor. I would absolutely love to help you guys. If you're looking in the Upstate South Carolina area, I am here as your #1 trusted real estate resource for this area. That's why I make these videos, and I would be honored to help you. So feel free to go to the description box below and click the contact form, and we can set up a 15-minute intro call and talk a little bit more about how we can get your home journey started here in Greenville today. Step 4 is all about the house hunting experience. This is the part that most people enjoy because you get to see all the houses, but this is also the part that can get overwhelming because you are looking at a lot of houses, and depending on if you're new here or not, you could be looking in all different kinds of areas. Each different area is going to have its own unique vibe, and you might be torn between two places, or maybe you've seen so many houses and you're like, I don't even know where to start. What I am going to encourage you to do as preliminary homework go ahead and have an idea of the areas you would like to be. Narrowing down your search, you need to take into account how close you want to be to downtown, to amenities, to your work. Are you open to new construction? Do you want something that needs to be remodeled? Do you want something that's already been remodeled but that has some character? These are all questions that you should be asking and that you should know ahead of time. So when it comes to the home search process, it's going to make it a lot easier on you rather than being bombarded with the thousands of listings that are on the market. Now, as an agent on my end, what I'm doing is I'm sending you daily emails that match the criteria that you give me on what exactly you're looking for. And also part of my job is that when you reach out and you say, hey, I want to go see 123 Main Street. Can we set this up? My job is to schedule the showing, but it's also to do some preliminary digging on the home and figure out, are there any red flags? Maybe the roof is 30 years old and is getting ready to be replaced. Maybe it's had flooding issues in the past. Maybe it's got brand new appliances in it. Maybe it's been completely remodeled. I'm looking at all of those things so that you're aware when we step into the house what the bare bone minimum of the house looks like. Step 5 is to make the actual offer. So we'll sit down, we'll fill out all of the paperwork that goes along with buying this particular property that you're ready to move forward with. Things that are going to be highlighted for you in this offer that are important for you are things like the purchase price, which as your agent, I'm going to help guide you on a probable sale price. We're going to look at things like due diligence period and due diligence fees, which I'll get into in a second. We're going to look at things like earnest money deposits, closing timelines, and finance contingencies and things like that. Step 6 is entering into what's called the due diligence period. This is the period of time where we're going to do all of our homework on the property. So we're going to schedule all of the inspections, like your home inspection, radon, pest. And during this window of time, if anything comes back on that inspection report that you're not comfortable with, or that the seller is also not willing to fix to make you comfortable, you can walk away for any or no reason at all and get out of this contract. That's what this period is meant to do. This is the time that the deal is the most volatile, because inevitably things are going to show up on the inspection reports. I don't care if it's new construction, there's going to be things that come back up. Now, the good news is that most of the time sellers are willing to work with you. And if not, again, you have the opportunity to walk away and decide if it's something that's comfortable for you. Now, if you do walk away, you heard me mention in the last step that you may owe a due diligence fee. It's also known as a termination fee here in South Carolina. That's basically money that you're paying to the seller. You're not going to get that money back. You need to be comfortable with losing it. But again, you're only paying that money to them if you're pulling out of the contract. The next part of the under contract process is that we're going to wait on the appraisal and the loan approval. Your lender is going to order an appraisal to be done on the property. The appraiser is going to go out and give you a price of the home is worth X amount. Also, during this time period, your lender is going to be going through your entire loan application. They're going to send it to their underwriting process, and you're waiting to get the notice of clear to close. This is final loan approval. You've jumped through all the hoops, everything's done and ready to go. And that's what's going to get you into the final step of buying the home and getting to the closing table. Your pro tip during this time is do not go out and buy a bunch of furniture or open new credit cards or buy a new car or buy a new boat or do anything that could affect your purchasing power or your credit. The lenders are going to watch you like a hawk up until a few days after closing. And yes, it can affect your ability to buy the home and it could kill the deal. Step 8 is closing day. And this is obviously the most exciting part. We've gotten through all the turmoil. We've done all of the hard work. Now we just have to close on the property. So here in South Carolina, we use attorneys to do all real estate closings. They're going to do things like title prep, document prep, and handle the entire closing process for you. On the actual day of closing, you're going to do a few things. Chances are you're going to do a final walkthrough of the property. It's just to make sure that the home is completely empty or it's in the state that it needs to be in order to close. No new holes are in the walls, things aren't missing. things of that nature. We're gonna do the final walkthrough. Then we're gonna go to the attorney's office. We're gonna sign even more paperwork, and it's gonna feel like you're signing your life away. And you're gonna pay all of the money that you need to for your down payment, closing costs. All of that's gonna be done right there at the closing attorney. And then after all of that's been said and done, then we wait for the official notice from the attorney that it's been recorded with the Register of Deeds. This usually takes a couple of hours after closing to be done. And then once we get the clear that it has recorded, then we hand you the keys and you get to move into your new home. I know that's a lot of information on the home buying process, and there's honestly so much more extensive information that's needed even within the context of this video. And that's why when you are ready to buy, having a trusted agent that walks you through this process is so important. I cannot stress that enough. That's what we are here to do for you. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time with another Greenville, South Carolina real estate video.